Thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to go through a bit of a highlight reel now on the particular part of the public works standards that covers plot parameter files and also some new PPF features. I've put in there 12D Model 12 and 12D Model 14 because the PPFs for the public works are already installed in version 12 because we could. And because we had some new features in version 12 that we really wanted to show off because I think they're great. I think the new programming team of Maxim and Tom, either were or still are continuing to do great things to the plotting side of 12D. And so I really wanted to get it out there. The extent of the public works PPFs is road long and cross sections, pipeline long sections, and drainage and sewer long sections. There's a couple of little examples on the screen there for long sections, cross sections, and a drainage long section. Obviously, that's not a good enough scale to really go into the details, but this isn't the forum for that. Out of all the plot parameter files installed with both version 12 and version 14, the ones that are new in version 12 and 14 are highlighted in blue here. And most of those have PW in their name for public works so that you can tell what the ones specific to the public works standards are. I won't go into the nuts and bolts of what each one is. If you look on the notes branch of each of these PPFs, they should be set with some details explaining what this file is there for and how it's different from the other ones that look very similar to it. So just pointing out, look for the files with PW in the names. And I'm just going to go through a highlights reel now of the best things I think about these new PPFs. And my favourite one of all is staggered uprights for cuts labels. For every PPF that has a cuts branch, which I've highlighted with the little red boxes there, there's this new position mode called above top of boxes staggered. And that looks fairly innocuous, but what it does is it not only puts in a cuts label, but it puts it staggered and puts in an upright that extends all the way down into the boxes area. And we've got now in all of these PW PPFs that have PW and services in the name, we've got this dedicated space on the sheet for putting these labels, which can take up a fair amount of space. And we can pretty much guarantee then that there's no more clashing text. No more clashing text. We've banished a drafting daemon right there. That's my absolute favourite out of all the things that have gone into version 12 and hence version 14. Similarly, for the cross-section plots, I think the New South Wales Road Authority, this is where this one came from, but a few other people need to do this as well. Similar idea for the crossing design string names. They can go on the cross-section plots with a staggered upright as well. This one probably took the most work as what I'm told from the programming team. The super elevation diagram on the long section plot. There always had been one, but it was often difficult to get a good result out of it, let's say. Well, a huge amount of work has gone in, and it's at the same time it has been simplified. So you really, most of the time, there are a lot of modes and settings here, but most of the time you can get away with the two settings that I've highlighted there. The special super elevation diagram draw mode. I won't read all that out. It's just one noun after another. And the super rotation rate tolerance there. Now that is a parameter there that's sort of related to the design of the road that you can work out and pick a suitable number that suits the kind of super elevation that you've applied to your road. The purpose of that tolerance is to pick out the flat spots in the diagram for labelling. And there are very tight little tolerances there. It's a tricky problem, this super elevation one, but it's a lot better than it was. And the feedback that we've had has all been that, wow, it's a huge leap compared with where it was in version 11. So hats off to Tom on that one. Also datum shifting. This one was a long time coming in the long section plot. There are settings now in the graph area branch for doing datum shifting, and I won't go into all the details there. It's about defining whether you want to use the extents of the primary string or all the other crossing services as well, and there's parameters in there for deciding when it should break the datum. I haven't shown it in here in my example, but you can put an upright in there where the break is as well. I just chose not to in this case. But yeah, datum shifting is now a possibility. So all those people that need to do that, I think that one will be welcomed. And here's just a couple of examples of the drainage and sewer long sections as well. Best I could fit them onto a screen like this. And I would have to say, out of all the standards, these ones probably are more Queensland-centric than any of the others. So these ones, may struggle more than the others to appeal to people outside of Queensland. But if you don't have any standard yourself, or you don't have a PPF to use, that's the whole purpose of this exercise from, more broadly than just the PPFs. It's for, if you don't already have a standard, well, we've shipped one with 12D that you can use, and it works nicely. I have been amazed. We submitted all of these for review to the IPWEAQ, and we got a few little points back, which I was able to fix in about half an hour, and it's been really quite smooth and seamless for all of those parts of it. Since that time and version 14 being released, there are a couple of new things that are in version 14 only. And this one actually was the most work, I think, out of all of them, and just mainly within 12D itself. What we've done is, without barely changing the colours file at all, really, we've added two new colours, the two colours there, 410 and 430, that I've coloured in red text. We have gone and coordinated all the different colour groups in 12D that are used for black pen colours, as in a colour that maps to a black pen of a particular weight through a plotter mapping file. And we've coordinated them all so that similar colours, similar looking colours, all go to the same weight pen. So you can see, for instance, that all the reds and green shades all go to a 0.5mm weight pen. All the blues go to a 0.7. All the orangey colours go to a pen 1. This is whether it's the 12D orange, or the pen group that we have, the black pen group, or the black text group, or the AutoCAD colours, or the MicroStation colours. So I've made this little table there as something that potentially could be printed out as a reference and stuck next to your computer while we're all getting used to it, for those of you who are doing drafting out of 12D. But yeah, it's one of those funny things. I was always amazed at how long it took to get that, for everyone to agree on that one. There doesn't seem to be a universal colour coding that's easy to arrange, but we've come up with it, and I hope that's found useful for those people doing any drafting at all through 12D. Of course, when you change colours, you need to change plotter mapping files, and plotter mapping files means you need to change plotters. One thing leads to another. We do have a series of new plotters that I've highlighted in green there, and plotter mapping files to go with them. We haven't gotten rid of the old ones that were working beautifully in version 11 and version 12 to a slightly different standard. They have been grouped under legacy, however. They still work fine in version 14. So we haven't broken anyone's PPFs who happen to be using the new, the version 11, version 12 plotters. But version 14, there is a subtle change there to accommodate the new public works standard. And the last slide I've got here before wrapping up is, in addition to the public works black pen colours, we've added some extra colours. This is not really the PW standard, but we've added some SUI colours. If you can't remember what SUI stands for, you can come into the colours.4D file now and find out that it stands for Subsurface Utility Info. And we've got, surprisingly to me, they came published with these standard colours too that look like they're terrible colours for drafting, to be honest, but it looks like they've just gone to a Dulux colour wheel or something and picked some at random. But whether or not they stay that way or not. But also in the PPF group of colours, we've added a couple of ones that might prove handy, a white and a yellow one that plot white and yellow for people who plot overlays on top of dark rasters. So they're not going to swap to a black pen on you or anything like that. and also a couple of cute ones for contours that if you're typically using a black screen, you can have the minor contours looking dark and the major contours looking light, and then those two are swapped around when you come to plot them so that the contours look the reverse against a white screen, white PDF or white paper. But that's all I've got. That's a little intro or a little bit about the plotting side in version 12 and version 14. And tied in with the public work standards. So I hope you like it.